Well, firstly, thank you for everyone for coming, man. This is crazy, man. Like, all for mental health. Like, yeah, make some fucking noise, man. Make some fucking noise. Crazy. Seriously, such a powerful subject. It's close to so many of our hearts. So, yeah, man, to see everyone come together today is heartwarming, man. We're all here for one reason, for mental health, to raise awareness. I've got to say, RIP to my brother Fabio, who tragically lost his life to suicide. And to be honest, as much of a tragedy as it is, we've managed to recycle that pain into some prosper and to do something like this today for all you guys and to raise awareness. So please, thank you so much. Before we start, I just want to say thank you to every single person that's been involved in the making of this, my amazing team inside the night, Marleybone Studios for this amazing space, all the guests and all of you lot that have taken time to come and show support, man. So again, make some noise for yourselves, please. I'm going to start by welcoming Gemma from WellSafe Up. She's going to say a few words. So yeah, if you give her a round of applause, Gemma. Here she is. There you go, Gemma.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all. For those of you who don't recognise me, which I'm quite surprised because I see quite a lot of familiar faces around here, even somebody who jumped up to me and said, we went to school together, didn't we? So, hi. My name's Gemma, and I'm the founding director of an organisation called WellSafe. And we actually deliver welfare services at some of the largest festivals, events, club nights, both here in the UK, in Manchester, Warehouse Project. Yeah, we all been there. And basically, we look after everybody. And I think a lot of people have an assumption that we just look after people that may have drank a little bit too much, gone a little bit OTT. But actually, a huge part of our work is supporting people around mental health. And not even just the customers of these events, staff, people who work there, DJs, artists, dancers. And really what I wanted to say to you all today is thank you very much for inviting us along. I know some of the topics that are going to be spoken about today could be quite emotional for some people. So we have brought along some of our lovely volunteers, if you wave your hands at the back, with the lovely blue high vises on. So if you feel at any point that anything is affecting you, you want to have a private conversation with someone, there are people here today who are more than happy to speak to you. Welcome opening arms, and hopefully it can be the start of that conversation for you exploring that journey towards positive mental health. So thank you.
Make some noise for Gemma. WellSafe. Cheers, bro. I'm just going to give you a little rundown of how things are going to go tonight. So we've got 3 segments. Every segment there's 3 to 4 artists / brands that are here today that are going to speak about their experiences, what they do, how they deal with mental health. And I want to welcome the first panel. First, give it up for the host, Grace. Make some noise for Grace. The G. And for the first panel, she'll be speaking to me first, but also can we give a big hand to Zenful Men, Nathan and Sam, and also Ewan McVicker. If you come and join me on the sofa, please.
Hello, welcome everyone. So I think the right place to start today is with yourself, and it would be good if you can give a bit of insight to the people who are here who maybe don't know why you started this, where what's on your mind has come from, and sort of how you've developed it over the past year to what it is today.
Yeah, sure. So, like I mentioned earlier, tragically, I lost my brother to suicide last September. It was actually his anniversary a couple of weeks ago. It was really tough, like for the whole family, for everything. It was crazy. It was such a hole in all of our hearts. Like anyone that's lost anyone, regardless if it's suicide or just death, like it's horrible, man. It's really hard to process it. And if it's something like mental health and suicide, then you're obviously you're gonna ask yourself questions like you feel guilty, you could have done more, like all the family, all friends and stuff. The thing that really was tough is so many people didn't realise that he was suffering that bad. He's a barber, so as you can imagine, he's in front of a mirror all day, cutting hair, having to put a smile on, listening to everyone else's problems, and not dealing with his own. He was a very proud man, so he did take that route of not really opening up to people. So, yeah, when this tragedy happened, the only way I know how to give back properly is through music. Like, for a lot of artists and people in this industry, that's how we show our emotion. So yeah, me and a bunch of friends from Bedford, which is where we're from, come together and decided to write a song in his honor. And it was a very vulnerable song. We opened our hearts, like I made the instrumental, and four guys from Bedford poured their hearts out about their own mental health battles, as well as how they knew my brother Fabio and how it affected their lives. And it was just a song we made in his honor, really. But then when we made it and we realized how special it was, we wanted to use this as a springboard to get the message out and do something right, man. So that's kind of where we are here now. It's crazy. What's on Your Mind is the actual track name. It is out now. And yeah, just the fact that a week or 2 weeks ago, my management come up with this idea of doing a seminar, and I couldn't believe. And now look at us all here. We're all here today for the same reason, for mental health, man. So it just gives a bit of peace. Like, it's trying to recycle that pain into prosper. And I think that's something that yeah, we can all learn from, because everyone goes through pain and deals with things in different ways. But I do really think that, yeah, doing things like this, it just feels good. And like everyone being in the room together, like just on the same page, like we are making a difference, man, even if we help one person. So again, thank you so much for all being here. It really means a lot, man.
And I think the first time I heard the song was actually before it was released. And I remember like just so overwhelmed. And obviously I didn't know your brother. I didn't know the people that were speaking about it. But I think the way that they were able to articulate what they were feeling and what they felt before and put it in that song, for anyone that hasn't listened to it, please, first thing you do after today. It was, I was like crying. I had goosebumps. Yeah. It was, I think the way they've, put that into music, like you said, was really special.
Yeah, it was a really, like I said, it was a very vulnerable song for us to do, but it only felt right. And so many people have messaged me since, like just putting the track out. And for a drum and bass producer to put out like a rap kind of grime-esque track is very rare. And to get the response it has, obviously the subject at hand resonates with a lot of people, but the actual words of the song, like, it is really hard-hitting, man. And so many people have opened up to me and shared their experiences with me in my inbox. And like I say, like that, I just know that like one bit by one bit, we're doing what we can. Like, we can only do so much, but if we can use our platform to shout about mental health and make it okay to talk, that's the thing. Like, and obviously with drum and bass, a lot of the fans are quite young. So if we can drill this into them now, where to go when you feel like this, who to talk to, and how to make sure you're okay in your mental well-being, then I mean, yeah, we're doing our bit, man. So yeah, I'm just proud of this project, man. It's crazy. Like, I look up and see everyone here for the same reason. And like I say, 2 weeks ago it was an idea. So to actually see it executed the way it has and see the turnout is unbelievable, man. So it's crazy, absolutely crazy.
And it doesn't stop there. You've also got something big happening Friday, is it, or tomorrow?
Yeah. So yeah, I forgot about that. So basically, I've got to big up Samsons, who are a charity from Bedford, who specialise in mental health. They have a boxing gym, so they're a big advocate for kind of exercise and well-being. Dorian, the owner of that, who sadly can't be here tonight because of trains, but yeah, he actually approached me because Fabio and Dorian briefly met in a car park, and they didn't know each other. I think my brother was actually parked in his space. So yeah, you can imagine the vibe when it started. But Fabio didn't really open up to many people, but Dorian is a very warm character. And just in that one conversation, they both touched each other in a deeper way, which then meant Dorian really did feel something when he passed. He was really shocked and he wanted to make a difference. And he actually, the BBC approached him to do a documentary on him, and he kindly offered it to us to have our kind of story. And as you can imagine, it is you think to yourself, is this the right thing to do? Like, it's quite a vulnerable thing to do. Like, we're opening ourselves up to a lot of yeah, a lot of things potentially, but when we thought about it, we thought, you know what, we can actually make a difference here and hopefully get through to some people and show people that as hard as it is to say, that life does go on and there's ways to recycle that pain into prosper. So the actual show is actually going live on BBC One at 7:30 on Friday, nationally, I might add, which is amazing. So I really do hope it does help some people. One thing we did do in that episode is we did suicide training, which is something that was quite overwhelming because like the one message I got from it was that you need to be so much more direct with it. Like actually ask that person, are you feeling suicidal? And I know that can be quite a daunting thing to even have to bring up with someone, but that's the problem here because we're dancing around the fact or saying, oh, you're not going to do anything stupid, are you? Or you're not going to do anything crazy. Like it makes them feel even more condescended. So I just feel like it's just about being more direct and obviously just checking in on people, man. You can tell when your friends or your people aren't okay. Do you know what I mean? Even if you think, oh, he'll be all right, I'll talk to him tomorrow. Don't, just ask him. Do you know what I mean? Pull him aside, just actually genuinely ask, are you okay, bro? Like, do you want to have a chat? And that can be the gateway into them opening up to you, man. So from suicide training, like we have got a website, whatsonyourmind.life, and the suicide training will be on there. It is free. And it's just like a video where it shows 4 different scenarios where you just, I don't know, just figure out, just know how to kind of act. And it did really help me. And do you know what? If I knew that kind of stuff a couple of years ago, who knows, man? So, I mean, all we can do is just move forward. But I would definitely check out the suicide training. But yeah, the show is live, BBC One at 7:30 on Friday. And I hope everyone can get more of an understanding about the story and just have some relation to it, man, because so many people have suffered, and I think if we can just do something to make a difference, then yeah, we're doing something right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think it's amazing, and I think having you as someone who a lot of people, like you said, younger people that are into drum and bass or into music can relate to, and taking actionable tips from yourself and from the training you've done will just really help to open up that conversation and make people feel more at ease with addressing those things, which obviously are really hard and you don't really know how to navigate, but it's taking the tools and the steps to be able to put yourself in that position and know what to do. So,
and I think it is up to us as public figures, man, to actually be advocates of that, man, because we do have influence in people's lives, man, whether we like it or not. So let's use that positively and actually, do you know what I mean, try and get through to people, the next generation, and just anyone in general, that it's literally okay to talk, man. And I think if we can start it from us, then, do you know what I mean, hopefully it will start going through to other sectors, like, and we can really make a difference, man. Like, because I do really think that, I know it's happening a bit more recently, which I've been told, but I think mental health should be taught in schools, man, from early, like, literally, because, I mean, if you can pick up on what is this anxious feeling I'm feeling, which normally people might not know what it is, like, or how to deal with it, but if it is taught in schools and a lot more normalised, then, do you know what I mean, it'll be a lot more easier to figure out. And I just think we'll be a much more loving nation, like, if we're all caring about people more. So, yeah, man, I think it should be definitely in schools. And yeah.
No, well, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us and your story. Everyone here obviously is an advocate of what you do and very excited to see how this develops in the future. But I wanted to welcome Sam and Nathan from Zenful Men. I was going to say man.
Hello everyone, how are we doing? All good?
Hello.
Do you both want to tell us a bit about your clothing brand, what you've done, why you've done it, and how you have come to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the founder of Zenful Men. My name's Sam, and this is Nath, who actually met at a workshop that we was throwing. So Zenful Men is a premium streetwear brand. We promote health and mindfulness techniques on our Instagram pages, and we even have our own mental health program coming out soon. And essentially, I started the brands because I lived in Australia for 2 years. I was your typical English lad. I was drinking every single day, especially in Australia. I was sniffing 3-4 times a week, and I say that because I know it's a big problem in the UK. We need to address the elephant in the room, and smoking every day, etc., etc. And I come home from Australia, and I went straight from living my best life, going straight into a national pandemic. And I think we can all admit that the pandemic, the lockdowns, had a negative effect on us all. And it was around this time, I tried to take my own life, and I had a family intervention, and it was that change. It was either go that way, and that'd be the end of me, or do something positive about this. So that's where I built the brand Zen for Men, and I wanted to use the brand to help myself. First of all, that's how it started. I started learning different techniques like breath work, cold showers, and me and Turno actually started doing cold showers the same week. And that's how we come into contact, which was crazy. And I wanted to build a platform that I could share all the techniques that had helped me change my life. And that was 15 months ago we started trading. And since then, we've raised £13,000 for charity through the sales of clothes and also different fundraisers that we've done. We've hosted events for the likes of Gymshark, which is actually where I met Nath here. Breathwork, cold water therapy being the pivotal thing for me, which really helped initiate the change. I went from drinking, smoking, and sniffing to replacing that with waking up, doing breath work, cold showers. So I'm replacing the bad habits with good ones. So since we've started that, I have done events for the likes of Secret Garden Party, like I said, Gymshark. We've done fundraisers. We did 2.5 hours in an ice barrel in 1 week. We did that for Mind Charity. That was hard. We made a Zen for Men FC where I put a load of lads together that were struggling, and we had a football match against another brand. And that's what Zen for Men is. It's a collection of all these ideas which I believe can initiate change into people's lives, and putting obviously a twist on it with the streetwear aspect and giving a donation from charity.
I think what's an interesting outtake I took from that is obviously you're saying that like the football and the cold showers and all of this. So do you find that what are sort of tips and stuff that you do which you find really helps you kind of combat when you have those down days and when you have days where you're not really feeling yourself to try and bring yourself into a better headspace?
Yeah, exactly. So the Wim Hof method for me is obviously what I'm talking about here. That is a huge change in my life, and I know Turno's a massive advocate for it as well. And it's about, instead of, I used to be so anxious that when I used to feel anxious and depressed, I'd go down to the pub and I'd mask it with drinking, with sniffing. And instead of doing that, I'm now tackling it with the positive habits, So it's just replacing the negative ones with the positive ones.
Yeah, I think that's, it's so important, and something I always try and do when I'm discussing mental health is like just sharing with people what works, because it's not one size fits all. It's what's best. I can't stand a cold shower. I'd be the last person that you'd ever see getting in anything cold. Like, not for me. But there's stuff that I do like journaling and meditating that really helps me, and I have friends that absolutely would not sit there, and I could just waffle on for days. I think that's why I like journaling. It's take about 5 years, about 10 notebooks.
Well, like I did mention that we've got a mental health program coming out soon, and it actually includes journaling, meditation, different mindfulness techniques, as well as the cold showers, breath work. We even incorporate things like Muay Thai fighting, because I've seen what it's done for some of my boys who are, always down the pub scrapping with people, and then they redirected that energy into a sport. So I think, like you said, we've all got different vices. We've all got different ways of dealing with the problems. It's about choosing the positive ones which work for us.
I think, so me and Sam are from very different walks of life. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people these days are, I've got addiction or something like that. So I was a firefighter for 10 years. Oh, wow. And I suffered really badly with PTSD. I tried to take my own life twice. I'm not ashamed to say it at all, and I don't think anyone should be. I took 2 massive drug overdoses, and thank God they never worked. Yeah. But the reason I sort of followed Sam and Zen for Men, and I'm involved with it now, is I think it's important that people realise it's not just someone that's got addiction. It's people from all walks of life. Like, we're completely different, but we're so the same. And I think Zen for Men was set up initially for men, and to me, that it's something that's very close to me, men's mental health. But not just that, I think women's mental health, I think mental health in general is such a big thing. And like, from me to Sam, like I always say thank you to him for setting up the brand. And I think it's such a different thing, and he should be so proud of himself that he's done such a big thing in a small space of time. And brands like Sam and people like Turner that are talking about these things are propelling movements like this forward. And I think that's where we should be as a society and as a community, to be honest.
No, 100%. What you're doing is incredible. And I think just like anyone who can give a platform on social media, in schools, stuff like this today, to open these discussions and talk about it, it's obviously so important. But what are your kind of next steps for the future, and what are you kind of looking to develop this? Because it's only been 15 months, which seems like you've achieved an incredible amount in that short time.
Yeah, well, more clothing lines coming, and if you all have a chance, please check out what we're selling, because like I said, there is a donation going to charity with each one. But the mental health program is being released in the next 2 weeks, so if you all please give us a follow on social media to keep up to date with that. I know it has the power to change lives, because it changed mine. And we've also put a sticker on every single one of your seats. There's a Nokia 3310. And that's a reminder to every single one of you in the room to check up on your people and to check up that everyone's okay. But yeah, the brand, I'll put my life and soul into this. You know, I've got a full-time job. I do it on the side. I do it all out the back of my mum's council house. So, you know, I will not stop until the world knows about Zenful Men, and I can help every person along the way and hopefully raise a lot more for charity.
Next year as well, I only just dropped this on Sam today. So next year I'm going to compete in 52 events over the entire year. So every weekend for the entire year I'm going to compete in some form of event, swimming, cycling, powerlifting, whatever I can, all to raise money for men's mental health. So if you follow Zenful Men, I'll be doing it all in Zenny Men t-shirts. That's how much I believe in this brand. And not just that, that's how much I believe in what they're doing mental health wise. So if you give us a follow, hopefully you'll see me win a couple of things, you might not. But yeah, we'd appreciate it loads.
No doubt. The size of him.
Well, thank you both so much. And I mean, I'm sure we all look, very forward to
Thank
seeing
you, everyone.
what you do.
Really appreciate it.
And next up, we have Ewan McVicker. Ewan, do you want to tell us a bit? Obviously, you have had a rise to fame quite quickly over the past year, 2 years, and I know you've spoke to me about how that's affected your mental health and where you're from has, but it'd be good if you can kind of, for everyone here who doesn't know you.
Like from the start, it's like in my area in Scotland, it's like 18 to 24 young males is the worst suicide rate in the full of Scotland. So I think I'm 28, I've been to 9 funerals, 5 of them have been suicides, and there's not many people I know that aren't directly affected by male suicides in Scotland. Like, for sure, it's so bad. And I've done events, I've raised money, and I always ask myself, if one of my mates committed suicide, it was my captain, my football team one year, I always asked, like, how can I help? How can I make a difference? And I was never in a position to make a difference back then, but I still tried to do as much as I could. And it all came down, you touched on it earlier, Turno, is education, like the educating people. Like I'm a qualified primary teacher, so I know the curriculum inside out, I know what's taught, and see, telling a kid that, like, when you come out of school, you're not ready to deal with the emotions you go through in adult life. Like, half of the adult life, you go through so many emotions in your life, and like you said, like the rise I've had is that I wasn't ready for this, what's happened to me. I didn't know how to deal with a lot of it, but I've got good people around me, and that's what's important, and I know I can talk to them. And that the one that hit me the heaviest was my mate Aidan, and we'd went clubbing to Sub Club for years and years, and talked about everything, and then one day I just woke up and he'd committed suicide. And I had my very first Sub Club gig on the Tuesday, which would have meant so much to us. So off the back of that, we started in Ayr, we started running, it's SAMH, Scottish and Mental Health Association, and they give money to all different brands and companies around Scotland. So we raise money continuously from that in Ayr through clubs, so all the clubs donate their profits to SAMH still to this day, and that's been on for about 5 years. But I think when you have, like, you touched on it earlier again, like, being a public figure, like, you do have a responsibility, and this has got nothing to do with, like, drum and bass and house or wherever we're from. Like, I'm here because we need to break down these barriers, and it's not about genre specific, it's about being here, and hopefully, like, a story touches someone and they go, oh fuck, maybe I should text my mate that day, and that is the key. And when it happens to you, and you go through all these questions, and you're like, oh, maybe I could have done that, or maybe I should have messaged them that time. And the thing is, like, without education and without things like this, like, it doesn't happen. It gets missed, and that's the gap. Is what we're trying. That's what we're doing here, is try to build, like, close that gap in between, and, like, we're going to be able to talk to our mates, or we should check up on them as much as we can. And with regards to, like, my career and that, it's mad. Like, the way I deal with it is just trying to take care of myself during the week and doing healthy stuff. Like, everyone, I come from a background in Scotland, like, we drink all the time. That's what we do, right? And there's fuck all else to do. So, like, 15, 16, you get pissed and you go out, and that's about it. But then what that withers away in your mental health, like, slowly withers away. And then when this happened to me, I've only really been in the scene for a year, and I was like changing sometimes. I was like, why am I changing? Because I've flung exhaustion in, and I've flung touring in with everything that I'm doing. And the ways I deal with it is just, I've kept my day ones around me, man, and they are the best. They're the best people I know, and I can talk to them about anything. Like, and we've got so many memories together, and I think that's just the way I've dealt with it. Is that I'm an open person, but I have mates as well that I'll message them and I'll be like, you all good, bud? Like, you seemed a bit off the other day. And, like, that's the key. That is the key, because they need to know. Like, people, like, that are at that point don't think they've got any other option. And they need to know just that, like, imagine they're on their way to do it and they get that text and bang, oh, someone does care. It's so key. Yeah, so that's just like that. That's how I've been affected by it, and like, how I deal with it day to day, yeah.
One thing I think you're quite good at identifying is burnout. And for anyone who doesn't know, burnout's where you hit a point where you've been going so fast for so long, and you kind of go past the trigger warnings of exhaustion and everything, and you just hit this point where your body goes. And that's often when people's mental health will plummet, and when people will fall into deep states. But I think it'd be good if you can kind of give some insight into...
Yeah, well, I wasn't good at it. At the start of the year, I was like, I had my tune that went big last year, and like heavy touring, and then I didn't know what it was. I had no idea. And, like, you don't just get burnout doing what we're doing. Like, you get it with all walks of life, and if you put yourself through graft. And January came, and I was like, what is happening to me? I'm out all the time. I don't understand what's going on. And then they were like, you're burning out. You've burnt out. So I was ill for, like, the first three months of this year, and it's only been this year that I've started to realize, like, that I'm gonna be honest, I never put any merit on health eating, like, none of that shit, like exercise and none of it. I didn't care. I was just like balls to the wall. Let's just go mental. And then, like, this year, I'm like, every week I almost hit a burnout every Monday. Like, I'm just bang straight down. And now I've started eating healthier, like, I play sports. Like, I always loved football, just gave it up. So I started playing football with my wee brother again, tennis and stuff like that, and it actually helps. No matter, like, everyone says it and nobody believes it. Well, none of us just go, that doesn't work. But honestly, it's helped me so much. And yeah, that's pretty much how I've been dealing with it to this point, because, like, this year's been mental. And I think, yeah, just what everyone tells you, like, because you see, like, health stuff, but it's not always directed to mental health. Like, it's like how to live healthier. But I think if it was more, like, made more of a deal and educated that it's like, this helps your mental health as well, not just your physical health. Yeah, that's how I've been dealing with, like, burnout to this point.
They actually, well, I say, someone told me this once, so someone else must say it as well, but you should do something every day for your mind, for your body, and for your soul. So, you know, whether you work out for your body, you know, journal for your mind, and something that makes you feel good, you speak to your nan or your best mate or whatever it is, you know, you should always try and implement something every single day, no matter how big or small, that focuses on those 3 areas, because people forget. They just think, oh, you've got to be healthy in your body, you know, and care about weight. People are, you know, often obsessed with, but it's how you feel in those 3 departments that often is how you can get the key to feeling rounded, which is my top tip for the day. But thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you to Ewan for that amazing speech. I just wanted to kind of continue what he was talking about, because I didn't really mention much about just touring and just being an artist. Like, obviously, there's a lot of artists and aspiring artists here, and I think it's important to really drill down that, yeah, just looking after yourself is so important, man. Like, exercise, like, it's not even for your body, for your mind, man. It just literally clears everything. It makes me feel centered. Same with the breathing. Like, I do it every morning, just 3 rounds, and it just clears all the shit from your brain. Like, the worst thing you can do in the morning is wake up and look at your phone, because like you're just straight in the mix again. Like, wake up, clear your brain, have a cold shower, go gym, then you're ready for action, man. And that is so important. And you know what? I wish I could tell myself that to even 10 years ago, but it is tough. Like, when you're coming through as an artist, you're getting popular, you're getting booked here, there, and everywhere, your fees going up, you're getting riders and drugs and everything chucked in your face. Like, it is tough, man. Like, we do work in a party. That is literally our weekendly routine. So it is our responsibility as well to take some care. And I just think for everyone that's aspiring artists in here, it's really important, man, to like just look after yourself and make sure your head's in the right place. And because the pressure from the scene itself, and I mean the touring, the traveling, the lack of, that you miss family events, you miss parties, you miss like important days. Like, that's all something that we give up for this amazing job that we do in the music industry, and I love it so much. It means the world to me. But there is certain sacrifices that you do make, and if you don't know how to like compromise and work them into your life as well, you're going to end up losing some people or losing relationships and stuff. So it's really important to look after yourself, and the ones like Ewan said, the day ones, man, like the ones that always check on you, and they're always there for you, man, and you should do the same for them as well. Like, this life is a very busy and full-on one, but like I say, that you have to make sure you're okay, because if you're not okay in your head, then you won't be in a creative place. You won't be, you'll start to resent it, man, and that's something that no artist wants, man. So yeah, that's my advice to all our aspiring artists and artists right now in the room. Did you want to say something, Sam?
Yeah, there's a little thing actually. You was talking about what you're consuming, and not just being for your physical health, but also for obviously your mental health. I think it's really important. Consuming doesn't just mean like food or exercise. Turno touched on it, your phone, the media, the news. You know, consuming isn't just what we're eating. Be careful with everything else you're consuming, whether that be maybe even toxic people in your life or, you know, other things like that. So it's just something to be aware of.